DeSanto Propane is 4 generations strong as a trustworthy, family-owned business with unmatched customer service. Go online at DeSantoPropane.com for more info or call toll-free at 1-800-752-4574 today. Since 1937, the difference has been DeSanto Propane.
Hey, welcome to FLX Weekly here on Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. I'm Jim Sinicropi inside the FingerLakes1.com studios in Seneca Falls. We got a great show on tap. March coming up is Women History Month, and there's some awesome events going on in Cayuga and Seneca County around the brand of Brave Women FLX. So we have Hilary Fenner in studio. She's the marketing director at Tour Cayuga. We have Samantha Maslyn, she's the Director of Communications at Discover Seneca, and Amy Campanelli, she's the Events Director with Prison City Brewing in Auburn. So we have a lot of cool stuff to talk about. The Brave Women FLX event is happening on March 1st through 8th. Lots of events and things to do that week to honor our deep and very interesting and impactful women's history here in Seneca and Cayuga County. So should be a good show. But first, this episode of FLX Weekly is brought to you by a pair of businesses that if you haven't taken care of your Valentine's Day shopping yet, you still have 2 or 3 days. So I'd suggest maybe checking out these two sponsors. One of them, Weston Company Diamonds and Jewelry, a full-service family-owned jewelry store serving Auburn and the surrounding communities. Check them out at westoncompany.com. or stop in and browse their selections at 10 Genesee Street in downtown Auburn. Weston Company, crafting fine jewelry since 1982. And also Blush by CV Designs, a local woman-owned business in the heart of the Finger Lakes, offering women's clothing and accessory, quality home goods, and unique gifts. See what everyone's talking about by visiting their location in downtown Seneca Falls, or browse all their products online at shopcvdesigns.com. And fellas, if you go in there and there's a good chance Christine might know your wife or girlfriend, and she will help you curate that perfect gift for Valentine's Day coming up on Saturday. Yeah, Valentine's Day's on Saturday. I know my plans on Saturday. I'm going to the new Skinny Atlas Fields for dinner. Excited for that. And Hilary used to be with the Skinny Atlas Chamber, now with Tour Cayuga. So she's familiar with everything going on in Skinny as well. But anyways, let's talk about Brave Women FLX. Hilary, welcome back to the studio. How's your new job at Tour Cayuga?
It's great. Yeah, thanks, Jim. I'm glad to be back. I'm happy we still get to see you. Everything is wonderful. So I transitioned over to this new role in October. So it's been a really fun transition because we'd worked with Tour Cayuga before, and so now I get to be on the back end side of things, hosting these amazing campaigns.
I always felt like Skinny Atlas was, even though it's in Onondaga County, I always feel like it's Cayuga County still. It's like 5 minutes past Auburn, you're in Skinny Atlas.
Right on the edge. Yeah, I feel the exact same way. We always worked really well with Tour Cayuga.
So, a Brave Women FLX, just give everybody an overview. It's March 1st through 8th, the first week of March, which is Women's History Month. And the Brave Women FLX, a lot of stuff going on in Seneca Falls and Auburn.
We do, yes. So this is a regional campaign. So there's actually 6 counties involved with the Finger Lakes Regional Tourism Council. So it's really cool to see all of these counties come together to celebrate essentially the brave women who contributed so much to the history of the United States. So as we celebrate America 250, this is a great year to really reflect on, what contributions were made here and how many of them were made by women, some that you know, some that maybe you've never heard of. So in Cayuga County specifically, we really like to honor, we have 4 brave women that we honor, and that's Harriet Tubman, Frances Seward, Martha Coffin Wright, and Emily Howland. So we've got some amazing women. What's really cool is you can learn more about them at bravewomenflx.com. But you can actually also take a personality test to see which brave woman you are. So you can have your like spirit woman. So I'm a Martha Coffin Wright,
Okay.
and it's very fun to see. So you get to answer some questions and kind of see who you align with. And again, it's within 6 counties, so it's really cool to see that everybody's come together to really highlight women whose achievements have changed the course of our history.
So we'll get into some details on some of the sites that you can visit and events that are happening surrounding this. I want to welcome our other 2 guests into Studio 2. Amy, how you doing from Prison City?
Doing great, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Prison City Brewery is like the hot spot. Like it's your beers are getting national, international recognition. On the corner there, what's the street? What's the street that Prison City Brewery's on?
Our pub,
Yeah.
downtown on our pub, it's Dill and State.
Okay, yeah, that corner is always like hopping with the big windows. You can see everybody in there enjoying themselves. And I mentioned before we came on the show, we love the speakeasy in the basement as well. And then there's another location about a mile away for Prison City that we've been there before in the summer. So yeah, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Sam Maslyn, former Finger Lakes One employee, now with the Seneca County Chamber, Discover Seneca. Always great to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
And so let's start with you as far as the Brave Women FLX. What are some of the things going on in Seneca County?
So I think the biggest thing that we have going on is the revolutionary roots. It's the 1848 convention. That's taking place March 3rd through 7th, and it's a 45-minute guided tour with a ranger at the Women's Rights National Historical Park. So you get to meet the organizers of the Women's Rights Convention and learn more about the Wesleyan Chapel, which is where that was held. And you get to discover how faith, fortune, and fate combined to ignite a movement.
Really a movement that changed the world right here from Seneca Falls, which is something I'm very proud of, to be, born and raised here in Seneca Falls and raise my own family in Seneca Falls. Just the impact across the world that's came from Seneca Falls. And, when you have presidents of the United States mentioning Seneca Falls, something to be very proud of. And so events like this that, highlight the history and pay homage to it are very exciting. And there's also tours of the National Women's Hall of Fame going on.
Yes, so that will be open on March 3rd through 7th. The first floor offers information about like the brave women that we have and the former inductees. And I know this year is an induction year. They have not announced who the inductees
Right.
are, but that will be happening in September. So that's a really good place to go. And then I did want to mention, I talked to Christine at Blush, and they will be running a deal with Parker's together. So if you purchase anything at Parker's and bring your receipt to Blush, you'll get 25% off your purchase.
Oh, wow.
And if you bring your Blush receipt to Parker's, you get a discount on, I think it was a dessert or appetizer. So that will be happening that week as well.
You got to decide which place you want to visit first. You want the 25 discount? Or can you go back and forth and just keep getting the discount?
You just keep doing it.
So Hilary mentioned some of the trailblazing women that are being spotlighted the first week of March in Auburn. What about in Seneca County?
So we have 2 women in Seneca County, Elizabeth Katie Stanton and Amelia Jenks Bloomer. And Elizabeth Katie Stanton was one of the driving forces behind the first Women's Rights Convention, and she also helped to write the Declaration of Sentiments. And Amelia Jenks Bloomer, she had a newspaper called The Lily, and she
Right.
was the force behind women wearing pants, or bloomers.
Yeah, which was salacious
Yes.
back in the day, right? Yeah, and you can visit Elizabeth K. Stanton's former home in Seneca Falls. As you mentioned, tours from the Women's Rights National Historic Park and tours of the Hall of Fame. Also some art installations in Seneca Falls that are paired with the women's history. There's the When Anthony Met Stanton statue, Ripples of Change statue. We have a mural on the Ovid Street Bridge, a building next to the Ovid Street Bridge. It's just pretty impressive, featuring honoring women's rights. So a lot of stuff to see when you come to town. Hilary, what are some of the other events or things like, so if somebody's saying like, okay, Brave Women FLX, this, I'd love to come and spend some time. Like, what would it look like when they come that week? Should they come and get a hotel room and stay for 6 days? Should they make it a day trip? And what would they do?
Absolutely. So I always think they should come and stay for 6 days. They can spread it out among the 6 counties if they want. But it's really special. So something that I think Sam really touched on well is that this is not just about women of the past, but what's been really cool to see is that Brave Women FLX is also about the woman-owned businesses and the trailblazers that we currently have in our counties. So it's also highlighting women-owned businesses. So through bravewomenflx.com, you can go there and you can see different specials, highlighted businesses, just in general, some fun ideas of places to go that support women-owned businesses. So that's a really great way to tie it in. We also have our Brave Brews weekend. And so that's something that's very exciting, and that's coordinated. It's happening throughout Auburn, but also there's a lot of involvement with Prison City.
Yeah, Amy, give us a little more info on
Yeah,
on,
we do. We
your
have
aspect.
a whole weekend planned. It starts on Friday, March 6th, from 10 to 4. We have Pink Boots Collaboration Collective Brew Day, where members from all over the nation come from Pink Boots Society, which is a nonprofit international organization of women supporting women in the fermented beverage industry, alcoholic or non-alcoholic. And so they get together, up to 200 women come and have a great day, networking, but ultimately they get together to do a collaboration brew. We have different hops and grain farmers donate hops and grains for this event, and they get together and brew a special brew that is later
remember
canned.
that last year.
Yeah, we later can it and sell it, and the proceeds from that goes to a portion of the proceeds goes to scholarships and giving back to the education of young women in the industry, going into the industry, hopefully. And then, and that day is full of, we do a lunch beer pairing for those women. There's games, there's activities all day long, and that ends about 4 o'clock. And then that leads into First Friday downtown, where all the different businesses are having different promotions and activities going on then.
It's every month. It just so happens to coincide with the first month of March. But yeah, First Friday's pretty cool.
Right. And so with our other location, like you mentioned earlier, downtown, our pub on State Street, we are part of that downtown First Friday, and we plan to do our Fire and Ferment paired dinner down there from 7 to 9 p.m. And that's a 4-course meal. We pair it with different fermented cocktails and beers. And that's down in the Speakeasy, which is named the Armory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I've been there a few times, but I
Yeah,
didn't know it was called the Armory.
Yeah, the Armory.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and it's a great way. Like if you're going, either want to eat at Prison City or Asteria Salina, which is right next door, or catch a band later at the Moondog. That's a great spot, and of course, there's other places to go downtown. But you can start by start your evening or afternoon at the Armory. It's a great place to meet with friends and have a few relaxed drinks before heading on with your itinerary for the evening. So also be a good time now to talk about hibercation.
Yeah.
Not related to Brave Women FLX or women's history, but related to us being oppressed by this winter weather. Up
Absolutely.
Here.
I think I hope other people feel it, but I am so sick of seeing the same 4 walls of my house, and it's driving me crazy. So Hibercation is a really cool campaign that is the combination of hibernation and vacation. So it's about staying close. You don't have to go far to be able to relax and enjoy. So on our website at tourcayuga.com, we have plenty of specials, including a lot of really great accommodation specials. So whether you're looking for discounted rates for add-ons, we've got some great, we've got a hibercation basket that if you book a hotel or an accommodation, you get a nice basket included with some really great local products. So there are some amazing specials, and it's not just accommodations. It also spreads out to food and beverage, to the retail sector. So it's really got a great number of participants, and it's a really fun way to maybe expand your horizons on where you've always been eating. If you see a great option for, trying a new spot, it's a good time of year to do that, because we all need a little bit of joy this time of year. It's dark, it's cold,
Especially this year.
miserable. Oh gosh, yeah, this has been a really cold winter. So, not having to spend another weekend sitting at home with your significant other saying, like, what are we going to watch on Netflix? You can adventure a little. We're kind of combining it with, you can be a brave person and get outside and
Yeah,
enjoy.
I do
Yeah.
like hunkering down during a winter storm or when it's like -5 degrees. That's fun. Cooking at home, like you say, watch Netflix. Don't leave the house all weekend. That's okay. That's fun, but not for 8 consecutive weekends. Like,
No,
come on,
no.
let's go do something.
And hibernation goes until March 15th. So there's still time to take advantage, plenty of time. So yeah, like I said, visit our website at Tour Cayuga and check it out. And if you have any questions, give our office a call. We're happy to talk to you about all the different specials.
And it's not, I thought maybe I'd wear some shorts today because it's like a heat wave. It's like 30 degrees today. So maybe we're getting a little bit less oppressive coming up. But Prison City has is something going on for hibernation as well, like a special beer.
Yes, yeah, we do. We brew a special beer, and it's canned now, available on draft.
Is it called hibernation?
It's called hibernation. Yes, yeah. It is. It is light porter brewed with Madagascar and Tahitian vanilla beans. Yeah,
Sounds good.
it's delicious.
And so you can always get through the winter by drinking. That helps too.
It helps.
Got to warm up.
So you three are successful professional women, and Brave Women FLX, honors the women of the past. How often do you consider? I guess, I had 2 grandmothers, Italian and Irish, both great women in their own right. But they were alive, they were born in the 1920s. And I can't, I think one of my grandmothers didn't even have the right to vote at the time she was born. So it's sometimes we think of this historical stuff as being ancient history, but it's really 2 or 3 generations, that the efforts of these women started to actually bear fruit in the terms of rights. But as women, what, I don't even know what the question is here, but how often do you kind of reflect on that, or what it would have been like if you were born 150 years earlier, or even 100 years earlier, or in some cases maybe even 70, 80 years earlier? When you look at the women's, these women like Elizabeth Cady Stanton, do you feel gratitude? What are your thoughts on that?
So because I am new to this role, it's been really interesting getting to get more involved with the Brave Women campaign. And I think at one point I was driving home from work and I thought, wow, I get to walk the same streets as some of the women who did these amazing things. I mean, Harriet Tubman, I'm looking out at the Seward House from our office. We're inside the Equal Rights Heritage Center. So every day, kind of being surrounded by that history, at this point, I'm not taking it for granted. I'm sure at some point, once I get further in, I might end up taking it for granted. But I think being positioned so centrally within, this historical place and with historical people in our counties and in the Finger Lakes in general, it's really an honor to be in these same spaces and know that what we can do now is on the backs of the women who came before us. So the mural is passing the torch. I think it's very appropriate. It's a beautiful description or depiction of that process.
Sam or Amy, you guys ever consider, just the stuff that happened here directly impacting, your lives here, or how audacious it is to think that, you couldn't have owned property, 100 years ago? Yeah, about 100. How long? 100 years ago was 1926. So, yeah, you ever consider that stuff?
Yeah, I think about that. I'm grateful that I get to work in tourism in Seneca County because I I think about that often. I love visiting the national park and just learning more about those women. Like, I got to get an education, and I get to read and write and have knowledge and follow my own dreams and do all of that. And just, I don't know if I was alive 150 years ago with like the personality that I have, how far I would have made it.
Yeah, well, and so I think if during those times so much of your life was impacted by the type of men that surrounded you, because they, held most of the power, and again, anybody that has mothers or sisters or grandmothers or daughters, nowadays I don't know how they could, I don't know how they could be comfortable with the way that women's status in society was at in those days. But Amy, any thoughts?
Well, I grew up from Auburn. I'm from Auburn. And I was exposed to the Harriet Tubman story from early on. But my mother was always teaching. I come from a big family. There's 6 of us, siblings, and she was always way ahead of her times and always pro women's rights.
Right.
And she even, in my early teens, brought me to Seneca Falls and taught me about the women's rights movement here and
Oh, wow.
the museum. And she was very excited about all of that. And
Awesome.
so I grew up with that, and watching her, after raising 6 children, go back to college or go to college for the first time, in her family, and get a master's degree in fine arts. She started being a fine artist in Finger Lakes, a painter in the Finger Lakes region, doing all the landscapes of the beautiful landscapes we have here in the Finger Lakes. And she was just a great example and inspiration to me of great women.
Yeah, and that's what I say a lot of times, is like the women's equality movement is not like, it's not like it started then and it ended at some time. There's plenty of spots in this world, and even I'd say even in this country still, where there's issues that and women who need support or acknowledgement or legal acknowledgement, I guess, especially globally. So I don't think like the women's rights or equality movement is over by any means, but certainly come a long way. And you mentioned coming to Seneca Falls when I was born here, there wasn't a women's national park. There wasn't a women's Hall of Fame. There really wasn't any of that. And it came about, I can remember being in 3rd grade, and my uncle, Augie Sinicropi, was actually one of the people who was involved in bringing the national park here. Paul, you remember when Paul's our producer, you remember when the guest we had about a year ago? Yeah. You remember her name? Because I can't, of course. But she wrote a book about, and it was a great book to read, about the process of forming the Women's Hall. You're looking it up, Paul? Yeah. All right. She wrote a book about the formation of the Women's National Park and the effort to get it here, and it was just fascinating. She was remote. I think she was down in Virginia when we talked to her, but that was an awesome episode. And she actually knew my uncle and remembered fond memories of that whole time. But we'll find the name of that book and the name of that author in case anybody's interested here before we get out of here. But yeah, Brave Women FLX. Sometimes I think also in this area that we take it for granted and like, oh, okay, women's rights, we know all about it because it's everywhere as we drive through the streets. And, now there's murals in Seneca Falls, and the Tubman, park and everything around Harriet Tubman has really evolved recently.
Yes, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention it's outside of the Brave Women Week, but it is National Harriet Tubman Day on March 10th.
Okay.
And there is going to be an event in the evening at the Equal Rights Heritage Center. So if people are interested, we'll have more information on our website soon at tourcayuga.com. But, that is a national day to honor her and all that she did for her people and for this country.
Yeah, March 10th.
Yes.
So just a couple days after the Brave Women Week officially ends, March 1st through 8th. So, I'm just make sure we didn't miss anything here before we get out of here. It seems like one of the most popular things that'll get people out is the Brave Brews Fest, March 6th through 9th. It's, again, remind people a little bit about what they can expect.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a really fun event. Again, it's multifaceted. So you've got lots of things happening over the weekend, and information, again, available at tourcayuga.com. I believe there's also a Facebook event. But again, you're going to have the Pink Boots event where they're brewing a new craft beer at Prison City. You've got First Friday, which will highlight, not just a lot of the museums, but it's also going to highlight some of the food and retail options. It sounds like there's going to be an amazing dinner at Prison City. And then there is the Fire and Ice. I believe they do a ice tower. Is that correct? And
We do a lot of ice.
yes, there's a lot of ice. So
Stan, the Iceman at the Ice Farm in Jordan, comes and does all of our ice sculptures. We have some sponsored pieces for businesses, but we also have a lot of ice games made out of it. We have some keg curling on a curling rink. We have the ice tower. We have an ice throne. We have some skee ball games made out of ice. It's amazing to see. But we also have 20 different brewers. This is a brew fest.
Yeah.
Also, so and you can get our tickets. Get your tickets on our website or on Eventbrite. And that gets you, when you enter, you get a commemorative tasting glass. And we have 20 different visiting breweries from New York State and a few from all over the nation that come in and do tastings.
Is this at the second location?
This is at our brewery location out on North Street.
Right,
Just
okay.
outside town. A little
Yep.
bit. Yeah. That's
Yeah, it's
where
beautiful
most of our
out there.
large events are done. That's where we have the space for it.
Right.
Right in our courtyard. So yeah, that's a great event. And yes, at the end of the night, we have a DJ, we have live music, and we have a DJ. And at the end of the event, we light that ice tower, and then it ends with fireworks. So
Yeah, it
it's a
sounds
really
like, there's a
fantastic
lot of
event.
brew fests nowadays. I've been to a couple, some better than others. Some of them it's just like you're in a big room and you can sample beer after beer, but there's not really much to do. But this one sounds like a lot of fun stuff to look at, to interact with, and I didn't know about the fireworks.
Yes,
So-
yes,
and if you haven't seen the ice sculptures that Stan does, they are
Yeah.
phenomenal. They are
Incredible.
detailed. They are so
Backlit,
unique.
they're-
He's very talented. So that alone is a great reason to come
Yeah,
out.
you
And
don't-
then it's just amazing to get to see those. It's so unique.
Yep, absolutely. So that's the Brewfest component of the Brave Women FLX week on March 6th through 9th. So, Paul, any luck finding
Yeah, Judy Hart, author of
Judy Hart? Yes.
National Park for Women's Rights. She was the founding superintendent of the park here in Seneca Falls.
Yep, Judy Hart. She was the first. Like, if you ever are in any national park, there's they wear the Rangers gears, and there's a superintendent. She was the original superintendent, and also just a huge part of the effort. But she wrote an incredible book. Do you have the name of the book?
Yeah, a National Park for Women's Rights.
A National Park for Women's Rights. It's a fantastic read, especially if you're from Seneca Falls and want to learn a little bit of the history behind the history. Yeah, Judy Hart. I should have remembered that. She was a wonderful interview, and you can search that up. Search Judy Hart FLX Weekly, and you can watch our full interview. It was about a year ago now, I think.
A little under a year, yeah. Back
A
in
little May. Okay, May. Man, remember May? Just when things are starting to get excited for the summer. But hey, guys, thanks a lot for coming in. It was awesome to see you all. And Sam, congratulations. The Chamber just had an awesome annual dinner.
Yeah, it went over really well. We had a great turnout, very busy. It was fun. I'm glad we're taking a break until next year now for
Yeah,
annual
well,
dinner
it's-
tasks.
It's a good thing in January, too. It's like
Yeah.
not in the busy time at Ventosa, which they do a great job, too. So, and I also, this month's business after hours on Wednesdays at Parker's. But what was the business?
It's not at Parker's, it's at LC New York, and
Okay.
which is in the plaza that Tops is in Waterloo.
Okay.
It's like a liquidation store. They have a lot of really great stuff, actually. But yes, they will be hosting it, I believe.
Tonight
it's
or next week?
next
Next week,
Wednesday
next
from
Wednesday.
5 to 7.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, again, ladies, thanks so much for coming in. It's exciting, the events that are just around the corner here for Brave Women FLX week coming up March 1st through 8th. More information online at bravewomenflx.com. There's also a quiz you can take to find out which women's suffragist is your spirit suffragist, I guess. And also information at tourcayuga.com, especially on the hibernation stuff. Some great deals there to check out at tourcayuga.com. So thanks again. Let's stay warm. We're almost there. Before you know, I think the clocks turn back like right about the same week as Brave Women FLX. I think it's like March 10th or something, but it's early March. We'll have daylight a little longer. That's a sure sign of spring. Hang in there, everybody. And thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed the show, click like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below. We'll be back again next Wednesday at our normal time of 11 a.m. Until then, have a great February weekend here, and happy Valentine's Day here in the Finger Lakes.
Finger Lakes one.